Welcome to our Injirati studio. We're located at the CTICC for the African Utility Week 2014. And over here with us today, we've got Viven Perumal, the marketing manager of Conlog. I hope I pronounced your name correctly.
That's correct, thank you.
We were just discussing before the interview now about the viability of smart meters and smart grids in general for the African continent and maybe specifically South Africa. Could you expand on that?
Yeah, I think what we're seeing is a trend of smart metering across the world. We're seeing a development of technologies of smartphones, smart devices, interconnectivity in the home front, and that has now spilled over onto the grid, where people want interconnectivity between devices on the smart grid. And one of the subsets on a smart grid is actually a smart meter. So a smart meter needs to fit into the context of the smart grid to enable a smart solution. Many people do not realize that the smart meter is essential to the smart grid, but the smart grid needs to be equipped to actually support a smart meter.
Yeah.
So we find that North America, Europe, the more developed first world countries are being very prescriptive with big marketing budgets that are promoting the catchphrases, the smart metering and smart grids and energy balancing and all these wonderful things, power quality measurements. And we in Africa, knowing our African customers, our African context, what we find is we are thinking maybe Africa is not quite ready yet for this type of technology. And we're actually conducting a survey at the African Utility Week at present to determine the suitability of which products and technologies are ready for the smart meter, the smart metering context in Africa. What we find in Africa is the skill set that exists at our customers. They do not have data miners, data integrators, so smart meters enable two-way communications. Two-way communications is going to bring you big data that's going to come back into...
Needs to be analyzed.
Needs to be analyzed.
And used.
So data is useless if data is not knowledge, and knowledge is only data that's interpreted.
Yeah.
So this is what we find. If we have the right skill sets that exist in Africa, then we can see that yes, we can make sense of the data that we're getting back. The usage profiles, the consumption profiles, whether a transformer is on its way out that needs replacing. All these things you can get from smart metering.
Predictive analysis.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Especially trapping harmonic distortions and integrated quality harmonics on all these things needs to be analyzed. Yes, in UK, Europe, they have this ability, but they are also, those markets are paying $100 a meter, they're paying 350 euros a meter.
So you're saying it's actually maybe the Africans actually cannot afford the technology? Are you saying that? And as well as we are short of skills?
So we find that
and short of infrastructure?
Yes. So what Conlog is stating very solidly is that we are questioning our customers to know your environment better, right? To know your affordability. You need to spend your capital expenditure, use it wisely.
Yes.
Don't be exposed to risk where you're going to be investing in technology that may not be used. As a simple example, many people will require a smartphone, but most people will just need a smartphone to send a message or to make a phone call. So the balance of your feature set may not be even used. And this is exactly where we're going to get caught with smart meters.
Okay.
So we find the meter or the meter type that's more suited for Africa. And as you know, Africa has got a big challenge in electrification of countries.
It's very low access, isn't it?
Yes, and the majority of the African market actually has an average consumption of 20 kilowatts. So you're going to install a meter that's going to monitor 20 kilowatts per rural household in Africa. It is more important to get electricity to the consumer and to get the revenue from the consumer. So revenue protection, where we need to be cash positive, to be liquid, to run a grid, and that is prepayment metering.
Because the technology at the end of the day, the customer is going to end up paying for it, so it's going to be in the tariff somewhere.
Yes.
So it's just, so smart metering is just not quite viable quite yet. Maybe bigger industries, commercial sector perhaps?
Yeah, maybe light commercial, heavy commercial.
Okay.
But revenue collection in Africa is a problem. There is a significant amount of a financial crisis around Africa. So customers, if you look at $10, what would they rather do? Buy electricity or buy a loaf of bread to eat? Those are fundamental elements that we understand in the African context that may not even be in the minds of our European counterparts.
Yes. Okay.
So what is important for us to understand is food and shelter is important, survival is important. Yes, we need electricity. Yes, we need to provide some sort of monitoring, some sort of two-way communications.
Yes.
But does that have to be your first world advanced smart meter?
Okay.
What we've uncovered as Conlog is there's three types of smart meters. There's a basic smart meter that does meter reading. And there's your, that's your simple smart meter that does your meter reading. Your basic smart meter is two-way communications, remote connect, disconnect, but your advanced smart meter is more time of use and connection of home devices, smart devices.
Yes.
I actually
just to create that energy efficiency that's the new buzzword at the moment.
Now, if we look at the number of people that probably has a smart TV around Africa, it could be questionable as to whether that LSM bracket will be enough to get your return on investment on deploying smart meters and your smart grid.
Right.
So it could be very small, it could be very large. This is why we survey, we test in order to see if smart meters is the correct meter for the continent.
Obviously, you've got different areas. So, here in Cape Town City Centre, maybe there would be a use for smart meters. Maybe somebody would like to go home and everything comes on automatically and everything's timed and they know exactly how much they're consuming to be more energy efficient and bring down their bills. So yes, maybe somebody in Cape Town City Centre, but the guys that are outlying, maybe not, or probably not. So are you taking a holistic view when you're looking at various regions and various countries?
Look, the market is made up of different segments.
Yeah.
We all know this. Each segment has a different percentage. We are not saying that we would not have a segment that would be interested in energy management, going green and reducing the bill. But how many people actually listen to the government advertising on TV says, you pass your demand, reduce your load. Who actually wakes up at 6 o'clock at night and switches off that light or switches off the heater?
The pool pump.
Or the pool pump. I don't know whose pool pump is running it. These sort of things, dynamics play a role. Maybe we'll think that maybe it's the neighbor that will switch it off. So if everybody remains status quo, the grid is still overloaded.
Yeah.
So as much as we would like to be green, as much as we would like to have energy management, maybe there is space, and we definitely know there are those segments where smart meters will be deployed successfully.
Yes.
If you look at the number of pilot sites actually rolled out in Africa, we have the lowest penetration of smart metering pilot sites. Leave smart meters, we have the lowest penetration of smart meter pilot sites in Africa.
Okay.
So is that showing us a trend of Africa needs smart meters but maybe not ready to embrace smart meters through affordability, through functionality, through skill sets, through maybe your grid not being able to support it. Maybe your communications infrastructure is not there. Maybe your power is not clean enough to support smart meters. So is a smart meter the right context for the African market? That is the big question. And the important elements to pay attention to is connectivity, grid capability, skill set levels, affordability, priorities of household, what's important of where they really want to spend their money. And it could be that smart meters is or is not.
How long do you think it'll take? A decade? 2 decades? Can you see a definite trend towards it?
Look, there's enough.
Or is it not strong enough that you would...
There is momentum. A lot of people are asking the questions, but that's exactly where it's lying.
Okay.
We have two solutions. We got a advanced smart meter solution, and we
Yes.
got a prepayment smart solution. Most of our customers inquire about the advanced smart meter, the ones that's been deployed in the Europes and Americas.
Yes.
But what they actually invest in is a prepayment smart solution.
Why?
Because of
They don't have a need for the...
yes, because
the
of
new
the
technology.
affordability and the feature set that we offer. It makes you smart. It enables you to be more efficient. It enables you to be more effective in monitoring your market. But at the same time, it's not breaking your bank. It's not
Okay.
exposing your risk factor. And we offer hosted solutions
Yeah.
where the skill set that's required is actually carried by the meter company and not in-house.
Right.
So we
okay.
host the entire thing and we assist customers. So by assisting customers with skill sets and awareness education,
Yeah,
you become a trusted supplier.
absolutely. Have you seen any particular, it's only the first day of the conference, but have you seen any particular trends or exciting opportunities within the energy sector in Africa? Are you disappointed maybe by what you're seeing, or is there something really exciting on the horizon?
Look, everybody's excited about the world of communications and
Yeah.
technology. However, if you look at a country where you need to reinvest in an aging grid, that is a lot of money
Yeah,
to become smart.
absolutely.
So if you had to really go down to the wire to invest in
Yes.
becoming smart, it's a costly affair.
So what we're talking about here is smarter investment in the right product,
Yes.
and perhaps one day we'll be ready for smart meters and smart grids, but
I
not
do,
quite yet.
I do think it's we will evolve into a smart metering, some sort of smart metering context
Yeah.
for Africa. It may not be the European or first world version of smart metering.
Right.
It could be a basic smart metering offer that is tailored for the African grid, the African communications.
Right.
I must admit, the communications is better than the grid in most countries, and that's a concern. Also, education levels are
Okay.
a bit fetching. So, if we really look at it, it is some years away. It is maybe a bit preemptive to invest heavily now
Right.
to go ahead.
Okay. Well, that's incredibly interesting. It will be interesting to see how the products develop and
Yeah.
grow and are deployed over the years. We'll certainly keep your contact details and keep in touch with you.
Yes, yes.
But thank you very, very much for your time. I hope that you enjoy the rest of the conference and that it's a successful one for your company. To our viewers, thank you very much for joining us. Please note that there are a number of interviews over the next 2 days at the conference, so please feel free to have a look at them. Thank you.